Hello, my name is Carly Manucci, and today I will be conducting the training course for how to clean, disinfect, and store a respirator in accordance with OSHA. I would like to start with letting you know a few things about myself. I have been involved with multiple aspects of the oil and gas industry for the past 10 years. I have worked on pipelines, offshore drilling rigs, land drilling rigs, and currently I am the Health Safety Environmental Coordinator for a contractor in the Beaumont, Texas area. Over the last 10 years, I have had hands-on experience with the respirators we will be discussing in this course. This training course is taught in accordance with the Occupational Health and Safety Administration Code of Federal Standards, 29 CFR 1910.134, Respiratory Protection, with an emphasis only on parts 29 CFR 1910.134H1, cleaning and disinfecting, and following the cleaning and disinfecting procedures listed in Appendix B2 to 1910.134 and 29 CFR 1910.134H2 storage. These standards require an employer to provide respirator users with equipment that is clean, sanitary, and in good working order, and to ensure that respirators are stored properly. For further reference, you can follow the links listed here and view the standards and procedures set forth by OSHA. This course will present the requirements and procedures of cleaning, disinfecting, and storing of respirators. This course is intended to train and/or retrain company employees which use or may use respirators in the proper cleaning, disinfecting, and storage of respirators. The course consists of a short lecture lasting approximately 10 minutes, followed by a recap, and ending in a quiz in which you are required to answer at least 80% of the questions correctly. Following the quiz, you will be asked to take a short survey about your experience, and a space is provided to add additional comments if you wish to do so. A certificate will be given to you after successfully completing the course lecture, quiz, and survey. If you do not pass the quiz, you may retake the quiz again during the current training session after re-watching the PowerPoint presentation. The quiz may only be taken 2 times, and if you do not pass the second attempt, you will be sent back to your supervisor for further evaluation. By the end of this course, you will be able to properly clean and disinfect respirators according to the OSHA standard 29 CFR 1910.134H1, using the procedures listed in Appendix B2 of 29 CFR 1910.134, and you will also be able to properly store respirators as set forth in OSHA standard 29 CFR 1910.134H2. You may be asking yourself, why do I need to know how to clean, disinfect, and store a respirator? First and foremost, it is for your safety. Not only can some bad microbial monsters take up residence in an unclean respirator, but clogged air, intake, and exhalation valves may cause your respirator to stop functioning as it should. Another reason is OSHA requires employers to provide a respirator to each employee when such equipment is necessary to protect the health of such employee. OSHA also requires the employer to provide the appropriate training for the cleaning and maintenance of respirators to all of their employees. There are 2 main types of respirators: air purifying respirators, which use filters, cartridges, or canisters to remove contaminants from the air you breathe, and atmosphere supplying respirators, which provide you with clean air from an uncontaminated source, such as this one shown here, where clean air is supplied by a tank. Cleaning and disinfecting a respirator consists of taking the respirator apart, washing it, disinfecting it, thoroughly rinsing it, and putting it back together when it is completely dry. Respirators must be cleaned as often as necessary to prevent them from becoming unsanitary. Some employers may use a centralized operation where employees receive respirators that have been cleaned and disinfected by other employees assigned to this task. But they may also require that each respirator wearer be responsible for cleaning and maintaining his or her own equipment. In addition, respirators worn by more than one employee must be cleaned and disinfected before being worn by a different employee. If the respirator is being worn exclusively by an individual employee, the equipment must be cleaned and disinfected as often as necessary to be maintained in clean and sanitary condition. Respirators used in fit testing and training shall be cleaned and disinfected after each use. Worksite conditions also determine the cleaning frequency. Working in a dirty environment will require that the respirator facepiece be cleaned more frequently. Emergency use respirators must be cleaned and disinfected after each use. The first step in cleaning and disinfecting respirators is the disassembly of parts. To do this, remove filters, cartridges, or canisters. Disassemble facepieces by removing speaking diaphragms, demand and pressure demand valve assemblies, hoses, or any components recommended by the manufacturer. Discard or repair any defective parts. Wash the components in warm water with a maximum temperature of 43 degrees Celsius or 110 degrees Fahrenheit with a mild detergent or with a cleaner recommended by the manufacturer. A stiff bristle brush, not a wire brush, may be used to aid in the removal of dirt. Be careful not to push too hard on the valves. They are made of less durable material and can be damaged. When the cleaner used does not contain a disinfecting agent, respirator components should be immersed for 2 minutes in one of the following. Hypochlorite solution, made by adding approximately 1 milliliter of laundry bleach to 1 liter of water at 43 degrees Celsius or 110 degrees Fahrenheit, or an aqua solution of iodine made by adding approximately 0.8 milliliters of tincture of iodine to 1 liter of water at a maximum temperature of 43 degrees Celsius or 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Or, even though it is not listed here on this slide, other commercially available cleansers of equivalent disinfectant quality, when used as directed, if their use is recommended or approved by the respirator manufacturer, may be used. Next, you should rinse components thoroughly in clean, warm, running water with a temperature of 43 degrees Celsius or 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The importance of thorough rinsing cannot be overemphasized. Detergents or disinfectants that dry on face pieces may result in dermatitis. In addition, some disinfectants may cause deterioration of rubber or corrosion of metal parts if not completely removed. Drain all of the water from each part or component of the respirator. The components should be hand dried with a clean, lint-free cloth or allowed to air dry. After the components have completely dried, reassemble facepiece, replace filter cartridges and canisters where necessary. Test the respirator to ensure that all components work properly. You must store respirators in a way to protect them from contamination, dust, sunlight, extreme temperatures, excessive moisture, damaging chemicals, or other destructive conditions. You must also store the respirator in a way to keep the facepiece or valves from becoming deformed. Bags such as these shown in the picture to the right of the text are an example of the type of bags used to store respirators. Always follow all storage precautions issued by the respirator manufacturer. Emergency respirators must be kept accessible to the work area, but not in an area where it might become involved in an emergency and become contaminated or inaccessible. Store them in a compartment or cover that is clearly identified as containing emergency equipment and store according to the manufacturer's instructions. Now that you have completed this training PowerPoint, you should be able to properly clean and disinfect respirators and properly store respirators according to the OSHA standard 29 CFR 1910.134 H1 using the procedures listed in Appendix B2 of 29 CFR 1910.134 and as set forth in OSHA Standard 29 CFR 1910.134 H2. Also, you are aware that OSHA requires employers to provide a respirator to each employee when such equipment is necessary to protect the health of such employee. Now you will complete the 20-question quiz on the information you have learned from this training session. Remember, you must score at least an 80% to pass and receive a course completion certificate. Your quiz will be graded immediately, and the score will be available to you to view. After completing the quiz, you are required to complete a short survey answering questions about your course experience. In the future, if you should lose your certificate of successful completion and need proof of this training, your records will be kept for a minimum of 5 years. Thank you and good luck.